Hello, I'm Gilly, and welcome to this webinar on the three key elements for pregnancy and birth preparation. So I'm going to be presenting a presentation, a webinar to you today to really start your learning on your antenatal education journey. So I will find my presentation. I want to talk about the three key elements for pregnancy and birth preparation. So I'm Gilly. I'm the owner of CubCare, and I have been teaching antenatal, hypnobirthing, pregnancy yoga, and baby classes for the past 9 years. I've been a baby wearing consultant for the past 3 years, and I'm a mum of two. So I've experienced a hospital birth, a standalone birth centre birth, theatre, a medicalisation of my birth, drug-free water birth. By no means have had all the experiences, but across my 9 years of teaching, I have experienced and helped my clients through a whole world of birth scenarios. I have personally breastfed, formula fed, mixed fed, bed shared, co-slept, sleep trained, done a lot of things in my parenting time. I strongly believe that the more prepared we are for birth, the medical system, the choices that we might face, the better. You can't make the choices that are right for you unless you know what your choices are. So please use this session as a starting point for your antenatal education. It's by no means everything you need to know. Learn what happens, what you can do for yourself, and what might be offered to you, and then you can make your choices. So the three key elements for pregnancy and birth preparation. These are my three top things that you need to prepare, that you need to be mindful of, and that you need to learn about. So what are they? They are your mindset. There's a whole world of education and information that you need to know about your mindset and how you can get yourself in the best mindset for birth. Space. You need to know about the space that you have in your body, the space that baby needs to navigate, and the space that you birth in as well, and balance, and why balancing everything is really important. So mindset, what is that got to do with birth? What is that? Why is that really important when it comes to pregnancy and birth preparation? Mindset is the attitude that somebody holds. So this influences their emotions, their thoughts, their actions. What has this got to do with birth? Film, television, media, sometimes medical professionals as well. They've given us a fear of birth. The horror stories, the dramatization on film and television of birth, the blatant lies that film and television tell us when it comes to pregnancy and birth. Sometimes medical professionals, although they are required to give you the information that you need, can be given to you in a way that promotes fear in order to get the results that they're after. It's not always presented to you in a way that helps you empower and make your own choices. So this combines together and creates a fear of birth. We have a society that is scared of giving birth. That fear makes us tense. That tension makes things difficult and painful. It blocks oxygen, it blocks oxytocin, it raises your adrenaline levels, and it creates this fear, tension, pain cycle. You're fearful, it creates tension, that creates more pain, that creates more fear, creates more tension, creates pain. And it's this circular process that is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Changing your mindset can massively make a difference. So birth relies on hormones. We need adrenaline levels, for the most part, to be low, and your oxytocin and your endorphin levels to be high. Adrenaline blocks the production of oxytocin and endorphins. So if we have lots of adrenaline by being scared, by being worried, by being fearful, this can physically lower the levels of oxytocin and endorphins in your body. Adrenaline is our fight, flight, or freeze hormone. So it's preparing you to fight, to flee a threat, or to freeze in response to it. Adrenaline diverts oxygen from non-vital organs to the arms and your legs, ready to flee, to fight. Your uterus contracting for birth is a non-vital thing in a dangerous situation. Your brain perceives it needs to be safe, it needs to feel safe in order to bring baby safely into the world. And having lots of adrenaline blocks that. Your brain says it's not safe to birth, therefore it is a non-vital process. Let's concentrate on dealing with this thing, and then we can safely birth baby. Feeling threatened during your pregnancy, during your labor, during your birth, it will make your body produce adrenaline. This will tense your muscles ready to flee or to fight, and it will create a tense body. That tense body will produce lactic acid, and that stops oxygen flowing effectively, creates pain, creates discomfort. It creates that fear, tension, pain cycle. Adrenaline also stops those two important birth hormones from producing properly and in enough quantities. So oxytocin is responsible for causing muscle contractions. So it's causing your uterus to contract during labor. It's also the hormone of love. So it's important for building that nurturing relationship, building that loving bond with baby, and really important for feeding as well. Endorphins are your body's natural pain relief. So endorphins should rise at roughly the same level alongside oxytocin. As your contractions get stronger, as your body kind of gets more into labor, your ability to deal with those strong contractions is designed to increase. Now, adrenaline blocks those, stops those from working. And there's a quick aside, an extra piece of education for you. Artificial oxytocin that is often used in inducing labor or to speed up contractions during your labor if they're slowed down for many, many reasons, but one of them usually is adrenaline, blocking the oxytocin. Artificial oxytocin doesn't get recognized in your brain in the same way that normal oxytocin would. So artificial oxytocin doesn't help your natural endorphin levels to rise. So artificial oxytocin can cause and create a more painful labor because your brain doesn't recognize that this artificial oxytocin is there in your body. So that can be another reason and another way why adrenaline starts to come into your body as well. So to help combat this fear, tension, pain cycle, we need tools, we need knowledge, we need to understand what's going on, and we need to feel comfortable with the fact that this is a normal process. Birth is a very safe, normal process for the most part. Most people can birth absolutely fine on their own. There are some instances where medical help is really helpful, but there are a lot of instances where actually it's not necessary, and it is contributing to this fear, tension, pain cycle. We need to change it. We need to get those tools, get that knowledge, and turn it into confidence, relaxation, and power. That can really change how you birth. How are we going to do that? Learn techniques to keep you calm and relaxed. Quality antenatal education, really understanding what can happen, what will happen to your body, what can happen to your body, ways that you can stop this from happening or encourage things to happen. Understanding how medical situations can arise what would happen if I agreed to an induction that would put me at a higher chance of instrumental deliveries and cesarean sections. So I'm going to do this to help try and combat that. I have an epidural that's going to put me at a higher risk of instrumental deliveries and cesareans. How are we going to combat that? I'm going to do this. And it's giving yourself that power to make those choices and to mitigate the chances of XYZ happening. Hypnobirthing is amazing to give you those tools to help you confidently navigate birth. Active birth knowledge is also so important. Preparing during pregnancy, really preparing your body effectively for birth, isn't as difficult as it might sound. It's just a longer process. Putting you and your body back in charge by understanding what will happen, what might be offered, and what you can do to navigate that. Learn techniques to keep you calm and relaxed. I'm just going to move myself out of the way a little bit. My favorite things to teach are breathing. I cannot tell you how helpful, how important breathing is. Movement. Again, I cannot tell you how important breathing and movement is. Birth partner support and massage can make a huge difference. Knowing what things, where to touch, how to encourage things, how to move things along can make a huge impact. Affirmations, repeatedly repeating positive phrases again and again can really help to change and shift your mindset. Aromatherapy is really effective in helping to keep you calm and relaxed, as is music. Low lighting, fairy lights. We've just had Christmas. I often encourage people to maybe not take them down or maybe put them up in October if they're due around Christmas time, because that low lighting, those twinkly lights, they give you a sense of comfort. They give you a sense of sort of excitement, of relaxation. It can encourage oxytocin. It can encourage your labor to move along, and that is really, really helpful. Understanding how all of these work together wherever you are to create the ideal birth environment is so helpful. You want to be positive and empowered and having that mindset when you're facing birth. Why? Your brain needs to enter the subconscious space to be able to work efficiently in labor and not fight against you. Your brain needs to feel safe. It needs to understand what is happening, and it needs encouragement in order to switch off. Birth happens in your sort of animal brain. So humans live in the conscious brain. Currently, you're listening to me talking, you're reading, you're watching this presentation, you're using your logic brain, your thinking brain, your reasoning brain. Birth is an automatic process, so it's happening without conscious thought, breathing, digestion. It's all just automatically happening with your body. We need to encourage the conscious brain to switch off, to be quiet, to go on holiday during birth. Otherwise, it can get in the way of the action. It can, you are thinking about what is happening, what might happen, planning ahead. You're not allowing the birth hormones to do what they need to do. You're finding those threats, you're fighting those problems, you're asking those questions, you're putting yourself in your conscious brain, and you need to switch it off. You need to have your mindset set to encouraging birth and labor. Change your birth mindset away from fear, tension, and pain, and put it into confidence, relaxation, and power. Birth with those and really understand how your body works. So going back to the 3 pillars of birth and antenatal preparation, we're going to think about balance. Pregnancy, birth, life, it's all about balance. Initially in pregnancy and birth, it's finding a balance between your past and your future world. But also you need to physically find balance and you need to mentally find balance. Pregnancy is about finding that physical balance and comfort as your body is changing. It's about finding your ideal balance between medical and personal worlds for your birth. You might feel most comfortable in a medical setting. You might feel most comfortable at home. You might feel most comfortable with a free birth and not having any medical professionals present. It's entirely your choice, and it's about working out where you would feel safest and where you would feel most productive, and understanding the balance of hormones to promote birth. They are designed to perfectly balance. And as with everything in the modern world, we are really good at finding the imbalance, creating the imbalance. So balancing your body is so important for a comfortable pregnancy and for an efficient birth. We need to work on balancing your body in pregnancy, and that will create much more comfortable pregnancy. It will give baby the best chance in finding the best position for them for birth. Tension in your body limits space, and body tension is really high during pregnancy. You've got extra weight, you've got things pulling in different places, you've got a growing uterus that affects your physical balance, and it's putting tensions. Your job, you might have an office job, so you're sitting in one position all day, and that's putting strain and stresses on different parts of your body that then need to activate and work during pregnancy in a different way to what they usually do, and that creates imbalance and that creates discomfort. So it's about really understanding how your body works, how your body's changing during pregnancy, and how it needs to work for birth as well. How are we going to do that? Have a mobile pregnancy, have a balance between professionals, and find your balance in birth. So finding balance for birth is about understanding your personal history. It's knowing any injuries that you might be living with, remaining active, getting professional advice from a physio, from a body worker, from an osteopath, from a chiropractor, from a pregnancy yoga teacher, someone with real in-depth knowledge about how the body works during pregnancy, for birth, and for recovery as well, because your body goes through a whole other change and has to re-find its balance for recovery and for feeding and for looking after baby. Learn about your body during pregnancy and birth. Understand what you can do to help yourself before, during, and after birth, and seek those medical professional help. Think of birth preparation as a project. It's something to do throughout pregnancy. It's balancing your mind, it's balancing your body. Antenatal education traditionally focuses on sort of from 32 weeks onwards. We really need to start thinking about antenatal preparation being a whole pregnancy project. Birth partners can be a massive help with massage techniques. Movement techniques can physically help you move during pregnancy, during labor. It can really help the uterus work. Like, the help of a birth partner is really important. Find a pregnancy yoga class. Go regularly. Find someone who really understands pregnancy, birth, and how to balance your body. By practicing body balancing moves and positions regularly and getting your birth partner involved, there's a really wonderful picture of a really, really helpful move. And it's part of a combination of moves here, but the black and white picture is of a client and her birth partner practicing a really helpful move and technique as part of a sequence in her birth and pregnancy preparation. Learn to mind balancing techniques. So hypnobirthing is really, really good. And understand birth hormones, how to balance them, how to find that perfect sort of sweet spot for you between the medical and the natural world. How do we do that? Through great antenatal education. Back to this mindset, space, balance picture, and we're going on and think about space. So understand the space in your body, understand the body, the pelvis, the mind. The space you have in your body matters, but the space you birth in matters just as much. The baby obviously it takes up more space in your body as they grow. This then impacts the space that you have for your organs, and that can often make it more uncomfortable. By learning how to make space in your body, it can make these processes more comfortable. It can make your pregnancy much more comfortable. That makes sense, yeah. Practicing it regularly can make it a regular um, automatic process in your body. The space in your body also impacts baby's position, and baby's position can also impact how your birth journey goes. So the more space you have in your body, the more space you make in your body, the more you release tension in your body, the easier it is for baby to find their ideal position. You can do as much as you like to make the space in your body. Ultimately, baby will find their best position, and then it's about working with that. You can't force baby into a position that they're not comfortable in, but they will find their position based on the space available. So the more space we can make, the higher the chances that there is in you getting baby into a good position. So learn about, I'm just moving myself again, learn about how to make space in pregnancy. Concentrate on the pregnancy, relax during pregnancy, really work with yourself during pregnancy, but also for birth. What moves, what positions are going to help for the different stages? How does your pelvis work? How does your moves and positions impact during the different stages of labor, and how is it going to help baby to navigate different parts of your pelvis during labor? How can birth partners help? How can your environment help? How can these all work together to produce a good outcome for your birth? Find out how the space you birth in can hugely impact your birth as well. There's scientific reasons why scent, dim lighting, a warm room, feeling safe, secure, protected, unwatched is helpful. You need to get into your birth mindset space in order to effectively help your labor move along. So make sure that your birth class that you choose covers these things: your mindset, your space, and your balance. I cover these in my antenatal course. I also cover these in my pregnancy yoga course because they are so important. So you can head to my website, cubcare.co.uk, and you can find out how I can help. Just a few testimonials that I will share with you, just from the classes that I teach. So I loved attending Gilly's active antenatal classes. They gave me a fantastic chance to relax and to spend time with my mum, while also giving me the confidence and the right frame of mind to deal with labour. I got practical tips, which I put to good use in labour, and Gilly was brilliant, highly recommended. Active Antenatal has provided me with a fantastic toolkit for my pregnancy and labour. Gilly's gentle, friendly, and warming approach made each session truly rejuvenating, and something I would look forward to attending each week. I attended Gilly's active antenatal classes, which really helped me through pregnancy and labour. Gilly creates a warm and calm environment, and I left each class feeling relaxed and excited. The class has the right combination of education and relaxation. It was also nice to meet other pregnant ladies to discuss our experiences. And I learned so much about the birthing process and exactly what to expect during and after labour, as well as learning different breathing techniques, which massively helped me through my labour. I felt relaxed and prepared for the birth of my son, and this was all due to these classes. Would highly recommend. So I teach different classes focusing on different things for your pregnancy, for your birth. I teach a regular pregnancy yoga class focused very much on gentle movements, relaxation, making space, starting to understand how your body works and why certain positions and why certain movements are helpful. Focus again very much on community, on making those connections, on making those friends, and really helping you to enjoy your pregnancy and start that community ahead of your birth. These are weekly classes. You can do them from 14 weeks pregnant all the way up to birth. And they are a really wonderful, fantastic way of physically preparing your body for birth. The real gold is in my antenatal courses. So I have two courses. I've got my antenatal course that is for first-time parents to be, and then I've got my refresher antenatal course, which is focusing on anyone expecting a second and a third, etc. babies. They cover essentially the same thing. The antenatal course is longer because we're learning for the first time. The refresher gives you all the information that you need, and we have lots of digital things and digital learnings and products that you can tap into to really extend your learning, but you don't need to focus so much time on how to change a nappy and how to feed baby. We will cover feeding, but we won't necessarily practice putting on a nappy or putting some clothes on baby. So my antenatal course is the most comprehensive antenatal course that you will find, particularly if you are in Welwyn Hatfield. That is where I teach my classes, but it is the most comprehensive course that you will find. It's a 22-hour format, and it will cover everything that you need to know to birth and to care for your baby. So we will include a full hypnobirthing course taught in person, taught with balancing any medical scenarios that you might find yourself getting into at the same time. It's not an add-on, it is the foundation of the course. We go dive, a real deep dive into active birth and body mechanics, really deeply understanding how your body works and how your body needs to move and how baby needs to navigate the space during labor, and how you can help. That is a game changer. It's something that there is so little focus on in normal antenatal classes, and that combined with hypnobirthing is the gold in this antenatal course. We'll have education on all medical scenarios, what might happen, what might be offered to you, what choices you can make, how you can tailor things to your own journey. We'll include 14 hours for you to prepare with your birth partner. So that includes all the time practicing birth partner massage, movement techniques, practicing them, really understanding the breathing techniques and physically helping you to do them if required. Time to practice nappy changing, time to think about how you're going to feed your baby, time to practice birth recovery and baby massage and all of those things that you need to do to prepare with your birth partner. But uniquely, we also cover or include 8 hours of movement and relaxation practice just for the pregnant person. This is essential. I can tell you all the things that you need to do for birth and give you a step-by-step daily timetable of what you need to do, or a weekly timetable of the things you need to do to make the most space for birth. Chances are it's going to be pushed down the priority list because life gets in the way. By dedicating these 8 hours, these 4 weeks of movement and relaxation practice, it puts you in the best position to prepare for birth, to physically move your body, to physically understand why that's helpful, why that feels good, and give you more of a chance and able to take it forward and to do these things after we've left the classes. But if you combine it with the pregnancy yoga as well, that gives you that perfect chance to practice on a weekly basis. We will cover everything you need to know about feeding your baby, about caring for your baby, about baby wearing, about bonding, about playing, about brain development. Like, it's a deep dive into everything that you need to know. Plus, everybody who comes to my antenatal courses will get a one-to-one coaching call with me. That it's so valuable. You know, you might come across 34 weeks pregnant, something might crop up, and you might be having conversations with your medical team about how your birth might change. Having someone who can say, okay, great, you can use these techniques, you can do this, you can do that, and how all of everything that you've learned can be applied to whatever situation you find yourself in, can be so helpful. And I will be available on WhatsApp for you continuously as well. You will also get a 1 hour one-to-one baby wearing consultation. So this is so useful for you to know what baby carrier to get, for you to practice different carriers, for you to know what there is available, for you to get comfortable, get tips, get techniques. We can have it before birth, you can have it after birth. It's often helpful actually after birth to physically then get baby in and really understand how it works. So our refresher course is very, very similar, but just in a shorter time frame. You've done it already. So as I say, you don't need to practice nappy changing and dressing baby, etc. Unless it was a really, really long time ago. And then you might want to do the full antenatal course. That's absolutely fine. I'm not going to ban you from it. The refresher course is 11 hours. It covers 3 hours of time for you to prepare with your birth partner. So we'll talk about sort of adapting to having another baby, adapting to having more than one child, how you can help your existing child or children to adapt, how you can get through birth, how you can help your recovery when you've got more than one child. So we'll cover a lot in that 3 hours together, but you also have that 8 hours of movement and relaxation practice just for you. You will meet a bunch of people who are also due to have their second, third, however many children, and get your community started. You will have that full hypnobirthing knowledge. You will have that full active birth and body mechanics knowledge. You will have that full information on education on medical birth. You will also have your one-to-one coaching call with me. So that is so helpful to go through, anything that happened in your first birth that you want to kind of shift and change. I can signpost you to really helpful birth debrief services. This one-to-one coaching isn't a birth debrief service, but we can think about what happened in your previous birth and how we can change it with the knowledge that we now have in order to move forward with any other births. And again, you also get that one-to-one baby wearing consultation, and this is going to be a game changer if you've got toddlers, or or even older ones that you need to get to school. Carrying your baby, dinner time, when you need to cook for dinner, bedtime, bath time, being able to confidently have baby in a carrier gives them everything they need, whilst you can deal with the other ones that are louder, more demanding. So there we go. That is our whistle stop tour of your mindset, your space, and your balance.